All right, speaking of back of the saddle, we have special guest Josh Benjamin from ESNY New York, our baseball guy we always talk to. It is kind of like the halfway point since it's also the trade deadline's coming up. Josh, who is our senior writer for Elite Sports New York, how we do it? And I got to ask, Phillies Yankees this weekend, over under how many drunk Philly fans to Yankee fans will be in ratio, by the way?
Oh, that's going to be a ugly setting in the bleachers. I'll say that much.
That's a good. That's a
I
good
will
thing
not
to say.
be there.
We can't confirm Michael Dunkin Dad will not be there.
Look, here's the thing people got to understand about Philly. It's not that the fans are rude or obnoxious or whatever. The city itself just has an ongoing identity crisis. It can't decide if it wants to be New York Light or Los Angeles, but with history instead of Hollywood.
I can probably concur that it's like do you want to be this historical little mecca where you got halfway decent restaurants, or you're trying to be but I call it honestly. Listen, I'm going to take flack for this, right? And then, listen, kids, put this behind the Bay. I don't care. And if you're in this group, sorry, I'm going to say it. We're like that. I'm going to say that the redheaded stepchild trying to be like the big brother sometimes.
Yes.
Like that's what we are. And because we got the history, we got it. But like, are you going to lean into it? Because then you should be a little like I'm going to give Boston some credit, like a little more class, right? Like a little more classy. But we're not. We're just like we're torn.
Not just that. Not just that. Boston made the hard decision. Okay, we're going to be a city that you can walk, but also have good mass transit. Philly is in this weird in between where we got the SEPTA, but you also can't really walk us. But traffic is a bitch. What's it going to be?
Worst thing in the world. The whole idea when they were floating the Sixer Stadium downtown, I was like, that. Yeah, enjoy that, buddy. Enjoy it. Like everyone knows that's logistical nightmare. You would think the infrastructure would be there for SEPTA, but I was complaining with the people the other day. I was like, there's like 35,000 bus lines. You're too complicated. Like people, you have legs, you can walk. Put one on Broad Street, put one on Market, put one down and set. Like you've got feet. You don't got to go 2 blocks on a bus.
Yeah, no.
Come on, man.
Does Philly need the big dig like Boston did from the late 90s onto the early to mid 2000s, 610, 632?
There's a couple of sections that people would like to dig and get rid of. I'll tell you that much.
Definitely. All right, Josh, we are at the halfway point. We had the All-Star break. We had the All-Star game and the All-Star break. What were your thoughts from the All-Star game? Did you like the swing-off competition?
I'll be honest. I stopped watching the All-Star game a long time ago just because, like, the All-Star game to me, it's one of those things where when you're a kid, it's really cool because one ball player who I've interviewed a couple of times says that when he turned pro, he said it was like watching his baseball cards come to life.
Mm-hmm.
And so watching the All-Star games, and especially where you see all the different players there, all wearing the uniforms, they're all on the same field, it's like your baseball cards coming to life. But now as you get older, you realize, okay, it's now kind of gone the same way as the NBA All-Star game, where it's a glorified pickup game.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's really trying. There aren't any stakes. Any stakes that you tried to add, they tried doing the World Series home field advantage. That didn't work out well at all.
I love that. That was entertaining, at least, anyways.
Yeah. It was something. At least once you got to the latter third innings, everything seemed to be okay, and people were trying. But I don't know, like it's cool to see who makes it at this point. But in terms of watching the game, like I watched Jazz Chisholm like suck his way through the home run derby. I hated that for him because I love Jazz. But yeah, it was like it was just another weekend. It was kind of as expected. I'm glad that it got to be a tight game later on. But in terms of the swing off. I have to, you know what, maybe I'll have to just go back and watch the full game start to finish to see how it fits into the story of the entire game. But in terms of evolving the sport, I think that it served its purpose.
Just leave it as if it goes to, like, you know how the NHL is a shootout. I really don't want a home run derby contest going to the 12th or 13th inning anyways. That seems very Mickey Mouse. Like, what are we going to do? Like the draw or like the loser point, you know?
Well, I think that one thing for certain, I don't think this is coming to the regular season games anytime soon. God forbid.
Yeah.
I think that what's more likely to happen, and this is just from what I've heard, just from like we'll call it whispers among guys on various beats. I think what more people want to see is that with extra innings in lieu of the ghost runner, keep the ghost runner, but only from the 12th inning on.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. Give me three innings of baseball straight up. Yeah.
Well, no. Like, give them 2 full innings to
Right.
like put some runs on the board, and if at that point they haven't done anything, it's like, okay, guys, let's get this show on the road. Now we got actual health and travel to worry about.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Who's been your most exciting story from the first half going to the second half for your baseball? Would you say? Like I see the Tigers been most entertaining to make that AL Central, at least not a Comedy Central, because they've been the most entertaining team to watch on national television. The Cubs have been entertaining, especially NL Central race between the Brewers and the Cubs. What's been your thoughts of this baseball season so far?
I think that the 2 biggest surprises, you just said them right there, were the both Central divisions. Now the Tigers, I remember last season I said about the Tigers, I don't think that I said in 2024, I don't think the Detroit Tigers are a big playoff team, but I do think they're the type of team where if you sleep on them, you could be making a mistake. Sure enough, they made the wild card round and made a pretty good playoff run.
Yeah.
And sure enough, this season, it seems that they've really bought into not just AJ Hinch, but what the front office behind Scott Harris is trying to do. And I think what's the bigger surprise with the Tigers, it's not just that they're the best team in baseball, it's how quickly they kind of turn things around.
Yeah.
Now, hindsight's being 20. Are they overachieving? Yes, they absolutely are. They do not have the arms long-term behind Tarek Skubal to get them where they need to be. What Hinch did last year with all those bullpen games, he can't do that again.
No.
That's this being said, I don't think the Tigers are going to crash and burn like what they say.
Baltimore?
Baltimore, or in 2000 when the White Sox were suddenly good and then hit a wall in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Tigers, they could get to the ALCS, but I do think that their long-term success depends entirely on how far their arms can go. And meanwhile, like Trevor on your Chicago Cubs side, I think we all knew going into it that once Craig Counsell entered the building, things were going to change.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and now that he got his feet wet the first year, and now that he knows the team better, he's kind of like adjusted accordingly. And sure enough, you see the Cubs and the Brewers kind of neck and neck for that top spot in the Central.
Mm-hmm.
And you love to see it because it's the same thing with the Mets. When the Cubs are doing well, that means baseball's doing well.
Yeah. I always say baseball is good when you have the Cubs are good, the Phillies are good. I always say this with the teams you need good in the division. Cubs, Phillies, Dodgers. You can throw Giants in there too.
Absolutely.
Like historical teams that are fun. Like you can throw the Padres in there if you want to, but like those wild card teams, I want like good historical fan bases like Giants, Padres. If you want to throw the Mets in there, it's fine. But I always feel like you have those. You can throw the Braves in there too, because I feel like baseball is good when you have those national powers and those fan bases. It's good. It's like if we have like a rando team, like no disrespect to Cleveland, I really don't like you anyway. So I have my reasons. Dunkin knows my reason for Cleveland, Ohio, anyways. It's just Ohio. Yeah, Drew Carey, you're not coming on this show, but it's like you don't impress me as a fan base, anyways, since you guys lost your edge. I always go by that because I feel like you need that for like baseball, especially for the fall. Because like we really don't want a rating of like no disrespect for the Texas Rangers and Arizona Diamondbacks. That was an okay World Series, but a horrible for the TV matchup, anyways.
Yeah. Case in point, you get it, John.
Yeah, no, my stepfather always says whenever it's 2 small market teams, but whether it's baseball or the Super Bowl or even the NBA Finals, he goes, "There's going to be 20 people inside the stadium."
Yeah. Yeah, he nailed it. And look at the last WNBA final. Look at the last NBA Finals. That's what I'm going to bring up. No one really cared that Oklahoma City won. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like no one.
That was a very 1970s American Basketball Association like finals.
We got Portland, Seattle playing each other.
Portland, Seattle, and Washington, the Wizards, and the Sonics at least. So
bring back the Sonics.
Yes, I actually.
We are team. Bring back the Sonics. Yes.
I actually had Sonics people come after me. He was like, "You're Sonics guy?" Like, not a fan, but really want the team back because I'm a voice down here in Miami. And it's like,
let me tell you my attachment to the Sonics. Not just that I love watching Gary Payton in his prime.
Gary Payton, we call him Gary Payton, since we like call him French at least.
No, I just remember it was like a box of Cheers or something. I was 5 years old, and we had these random ass like 4 basketball cards that were in there.
Yeah,
I one of them, I think it was Detlef Schrempf.
Yeah, there you go, baby.
It was in this cheap ass Sonics card, but I thought the whole Sonics logo with the Seattle city skyline and the green and the gold, I thought that looked incredible.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yankees got the Phillies week this weekend. Then you got the you come down to the sixth borough called Miami. It is the sixth borough. Every New Yorker's down here, anyways.
Really, I thought it was North Jersey.
Ew.
We may have to call it the seventh or eighth borough at least. What's been since the trade deadline's coming? Who is your biggest number one trade target you want to see a team go after? Is it like, I know Sandy's number one for everybody. I don't think you should go for him.
No, I don't want
elbow is.
As it goes to the pitchers, guys, I've learned that when it comes to pitching, just trust Matt Blake and Brian Cashman. They've probably got their eye on somebody who none of us have even considered at this point.
Mm-hmm.
The only guys I absolutely don't want Charlie Morton, and I don't want Sandy Alcantara. The one guy who I do want, and I've gotten a lot of heat from several directions. I've gotten heat on my own podcast, Baseline Baseball, for thinking this. Yes. The Yankees' biggest need is at third base, obviously, and on top of that, they need to shore up some defense on the left side of the infield. Now, there's all talk about Gino Suarez, and the Mariners want him, the Mets want him, the Diamondbacks might want to keep him if they want to go for that big run, and he's hitting the ball really well, but his defense is kind of a question mark. Mm-hmm. This being said, I think that you go for a guy who can be gotten on the cheap, still has a couple of years of team control left, has ties to the franchise through his family, and needs that good change of scenery, and maybe he could finally get the bat going in New York. The guy I'm talking about is Ke'Bryan Hayes of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
That was the name I was going to bring up too, anyways.
Yeah, I have been high on Ke'Bryan for a very long time. He is a phenomenal third baseman. I trade for him in MLB The Show quite often. I think that he's someone who's clearly, despite all of his back and leg injuries, he really, really wants to try and be a better hitter. But it's in Pittsburgh. He's not going to be given the proper tools and resources to succeed there. And I think that going to the Yankees, and especially with a good bat-to-ball hitting coach like James Rowson himself, I think that if you get the two of them in the room together and if they vibe well, it's going to be a great rebirth for Hayes, especially because his father, Charlie, caught the final out of the 1996 World Series.
Did not know that, actually. That comes full fucking circle, as I like to say.
Exactly.
Do you think the Yankees are would you say we're on a collision course for Tigers, Yankees, ALCS? Would you say is that the dream matchup that baseball wants? Would you say?
I think that baseball does want that dream matchup just from sort of like Astros 2.0. It's kind of AJ Hinch coming full circle, where he gets to prove that he can manage a team without trash can gate. Yeah. Meanwhile, the Yankees get to prove that they can actually beat an AJ Hinch team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slash a Jim Leyland team also.
Yeah, and this all being said, the Yankees and the Tigers, they're both very similar teams. They both have very deep and talented lineups, but at the end of the day, how far they go depends on their pitching staff. Mm-hmm. The difference being the Yankees have Max Fried, Carlos Rodon. They're going to have Luis Gil back very soon. Even Marcus Stroman's looking better. Whereas the Tigers, they got Tarek Skubal, you got Jack Flaherty, whose shoulder is about to explode at any moment. You got
last time I checked, it's not exploded yet as we're recording right now at 1:45.
Yeah, you have Reese Olson, who I think is very talented, but you don't really know what you can get out of him. Casey Mize, he's got a great amount of talent. And then Matt Manning is just having Tommy John surgery.
Interesting.
So it's really not really, you can't really tell how far it's going to go until you have a better idea of what the rotation is going to look like, and maybe in the next 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Like with the Yankees, Cam Schlittler, I could see him being a high leverage arm out of the bullpen come playoff time.
That I think that I could see that as happening, no problem, because I feel like the Yankees always go 3 or 4 starters at least. They did that to Tyonis too. It's like he was their starter back in the time.
And plus, where Schlittler's at in his development, he's got the fastball velocity, he's got the slider, but he hasn't quite learned how to control it just yet. He hasn't really gotten a good bite on it, and he's still developing a changeup, a sweeper, a sinker. Like he's still very much learning how to pitch. But the fact that he's got the size and the velocity, and he can get like some good whiffs on that velocity right now, I want that in the bullpen, no doubt.
Definitely. I think you got to have that super ped, or just the guy just throws the gas, not the ass guy anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
Definitely. So
run prevention,
super pens. Here we come. Who is your as we're looking at the wild cards right now? Yankees at the first one. I think they're going to get the East Division unless Toronto collapses. Do we see that happening?
I think that at one point Toronto has to hit a wall at some point because they've been running very hot, but I always point to run differential. They're at plus 28 run differential, and one thing we have to understand: the main reason Toronto has been able to run so hot as they have, they don't strike out. They've got the best. Yeah, they have got the best strikeout rate in baseball at 17.5%. And you saw them swinging yesterday. They swing at the first pitch a lot, kind of like those old Mike Scioscia Angels teams. And I think that there is a lane. Yeah, I think that there is a lane for a team like that to succeed and win a title. But the Blue Jays themselves, again, it's the same problem. They don't have the arms. When your best pitcher is Kevin Gossman, who he's streaky, followed by old Max Scherzer and Chris Bassett, who pretty good, but you never really know where the ball's going to be going whenever he's pitching because he's a soft contact guy. Mm-hmm. And then on the back end, you got Jose Barrios and like a maybe bullpen.
I forgot about Jose Barrios since everyone was talking about him so much as a big trade chip before he got traded to the Blue Jays, which is still crazy to say. Are we allowed to say we are what we thought you said about the Houston Astros? Like, are we expecting them to fall apart too?
You know what? We've been saying that about the Astros for the last couple of years, and then the Mariners always make us eat our words.
Yes. As the Mariners are right now like 5 back from the Astros.
Look, and
Thank
one
you,
thing
Seattle.
And one thing I've said about the Astros, because when they won the World Series against the Phillies in 2022, and everyone was like grumbling about, the cheaters won again, the cheaters won again. Look, we have to objectively say the Houston Astros know how to develop pitchers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Hunter Brown looks great this year. Even Lance McCullers, even though he's been hurt a bunch, he's looked good for the little bit that he's played. Framber Valdez looks ace-like. Luis Garcia is coming back very soon.
Yeah. I always say the Houston Astros know how to develop players and pitching, which is always key. And they've figured it out. It doesn't matter if it's Jose Altuve or anybody else, but they could grab the right pieces to make sure they fit well under their system or their culture anyways.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be in the hunt for some arms come for the final run anyway, even though they can probably coast to the division at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could see them being in the market for somebody like Dylan Cease, for example.
Who is pitching today versus San Diego Padres versus the Miami Marlins. I don't know what the run line is going on for that game right now, but check your local listings, as we like to say anyways.
Yeah, the Marlins are currently up 3-1 in that one. And it's also important to note the Astros, they just lost Isaac Paredes, who's their best home run hitter. So the tide in the West could be shifting, but again, it all comes down to the Mariners or the Rangers stepping up. The runway is there for one or both teams to make a run. I'll go so far as to even say I even think that maybe the Angels, who are only 10 games back, they could go on a hot run and get to the top of the division. It's been done before.
It has been done before, anyways. I think it's really interesting what the Rangers are going to do, especially I think the Rangers, what they did, they already got rid of Dane Dunning on. They're one of the trades they didn't make room for salary.
The Rangers' problem is age is just starting to hit guys like Marcus Semien square in the face,
and Corey Seager a little bit as well.
Yeah, Seager's always been kind of like streaky and injury prone, but Marcus Semien he hit a wall hard this year.
Definitely, for sure. But do we really trust the Rangers trying to make this? Like, I would like to see the Rangers somehow rally back and win this division, but I don't know how they're going to do it. Honestly, they're
going to have all the bats click at the same time, and they have to get another arm in the rotation because it's a shallow rotation market this year. The cost for arms is going to be very high, and I just don't know if the Rangers have the pieces to make that deal.
True. Who is your biggest disappointment for this year's Major League Baseball season?
My biggest disappointment this year is honestly the Royals, because we thought that this was going to be the year where, okay, we get a healthy Vinny Pasquantino. They've boosted the rotation. They're going to run it back, and they've got the hangover.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
Yeah, and on the National League side, I mean, the Braves, they have like one of the most stacked lineups in the world, and that they can't do anything with it.
Horrendous.
Yeah, but even so, I mean, as happy as I was for the Yankees to beat the Royals in the World Series, not the World Series, in the Division Series last year, they were a fun team to watch. I love Bobby Witt Jr. I love Sal Perez.
Yeah.
I really think that this team, if they can get that big bopper in the middle of the lineup, they really can become, I don't want to use the term dynasty, but they could become a regular threat in that AL Central. And for them to just sort of kind of be bit by the injury bug and guys like Cole Reagans and Michael Lorenzen just going down, and it's just been a overall mediocre year. You hate to see it, especially in a small market like Kansas City.
Definitely. Now they're ready. They're waiting for football season, as I like to say.
Yeah.
The Rays got sold. What are your thoughts? And do you think it's going to help them stay in this Tampa proper, at least, would you say?
I think it's going to help them at least stay in Florida.
That is true.
Yeah, just because it got to the point where with Stuart Sternberg, I mean, Trevor, you and I have talked about this for a while. At some point you start asking, okay, does he actually want this team anymore?
That's what I always said.
Yeah, and I think that more often than not, he was based on, I think it was a report from the Post that came out in April, in that a lot of owners were kind of grumbling about how they wished he would sell the team. Mm-hmm. I think he was kind of waiting for that as sort of permission to do so. And now they did it. Look, I'm always going to say I think the Rays should just up and move to Montreal, bring back the Expos, no questions asked.
Mm-hmm.
But look, if this new owner, this Jacksonville developer guy, if he's intent on keeping the team in Florida in good faith and is going to invest in the team, I say go for it. Florida likes baseball. They've got a great high school scene. They've got college. Like, everyone in Florida likes baseball, and you need to take advantage of that. I mean, the Marlins don't, so maybe the Rays finally can.
Get some Florida players, get some Florida State players, maybe some UCF players right across the I-4 corridor.
Miami.
I always tell that to the Miami Marlins. Dress the Miami Hurricanes. Some reason for us to come to the ball games, I like to say.
Never should have torn down the Orange Bowl.
Don't get me started. That's another debate. The Twins are still up for sale. What's the holdup, would you say?
I think that the holdup at this point, I'm going to use a term that you hear a lot when it comes to NFL first-round picks signing their contracts. I think we're at the offset language portion of the sale. And now I think a lot of it also has to be that they've never quite identified who's buying the team.
That's the thing I want to figure out. Like, who wants this team anyways?
Yeah, like who's buying the team and why are they insisting on the anonymity of it all? So this all being said, I'm worried that maybe it's Elon Musk buying the team. In which case we'll get like SpaceX Stadium.
That would be kind of
be
cool though.
So sweet.
That would be cool though, honestly.
Put a roof in over Target Field. Oh my god.
Okay, all right. It sounds cool. Let's
speak into existence. Sure, exactly.
A lot of stuff we speak into existence does happen on this show anyway, so it could happen.
Yeah.
Or we could say Mark Cuban wants to buy a baseball team for once.
Well, if Mark Cuban buys the Twins, I'm in full support of that. One of my buddies is a big Twins fan, and he would love nothing more for them to actually spend money.
Oh yeah,
that's you're nail on the head there, John. Like, these teams have got to spend money. Specifically Tampa, you were talking about them. Like, Tampa's a good market. The people down there, they like their sports, but you've got to invest in Tampa. If not, like you mentioned, pick it up and put it someplace, but put the money into it.
Well, Duncan, here's the difference. Here's the difference. Unlike Florida, Minnesota is not a big baseball state.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I think that what the Twins got to do in terms of money, it's not so much. They shouldn't go for the big free agents first thing, but they should go for more like the top of the mid tier, sort of like the Jameson Tyons, to use the Cubs as an example.
There you go.
Start with those guys. Start by spending between $1 and $200 million on those types of players, right, and then put the rest into player development, into the international scouting scene. Build up that young and dependable core that can bring in money on its own, and then brings in that additional revenue, so that later on you can go for the bigger free agents.
There you go.
Because we've seen what happens when the Twins follow that model. They've won World Series going that route.
Yes, they have.
Now, granted, pitching is a lot better now than it was 35 years ago.
Jack Morris and Brad Radke are line 1 and 2 right now.
Yeah, but the foundational playbook is there for the Twins to succeed. It's just at the point now of investing some more in that minor league system.
Sure.
Do you think is it because the Twins don't want to invest anymore? Are they just getting lazy? Would you say?
I don't think it's so much that they're getting lazy. I think it's more that the Polehead family has owned the family for a very long time right now, and and I think the latest generation is just like, you know what, it's been a fun ride. It's time to put our money elsewhere.
Yeah,
It's like the bus family finally selling the Lakers almost.
Yeah, I mean, because you have to figure the idea of owning a professional sports franchise is cool if you have that kind of money. On a day-to-day basis, especially if you're hands-on, like the Bus family, like the Bullheads, even with Terry Ryan as the GM, you have to figure it's a stressful job.
No,
like I assume all three of us have Netflix and have watched Running Points. It's
exactly. Yep.
It's a lot to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
Great little ditty. Great. You're right though. Now the challenges that they faced between players and ownership way back in the 80s, I think it was 83, 84 when they bought the team or they took it over the Pullman family. You don't have that now. Now, what's this guy saying on social media? Where's he like? Dude, like you're constantly available. You're constantly out there. Like the headache of just personnel management alone would send me to the funny farm.
Yeah, I mean, like that's why, this is why I can't stand Yankees fans on social media. People are now, Trevor, you probably saw this clip yesterday of where Aaron Boone finally kind of snapped on John Boy.
Yes, I did see that. It was entertainment, by the way.
Yeah, and people are saying, oh, ha, Boone snap. I listen to him and I go, okay, Boone is saying what I say to people every damn day of every season. I don't see anything wrong with what he said.
No.
That's right.
Yeah, he's like, I'm trying to run a team. You're trying to get a quote to your standard. Like, what the hell do you want?
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, like, this is why I can't stand Yankees fans. They say, oh, like, fire Cashman, fire Boone, fire Cashman, fire Boone. Okay, Aaron Boone, yeah, he should have his guys better on top of the fundamentals more. But at the end of the day, it's not his fault if certain players just don't have as good an IQ when it comes to that area as it comes when it comes to others. Like, these are human beings. Yeah, these are human beings.
That's our guy, JT the Brick, diehard Yankee fan, anyways.
Yeah, and not only that, like, people say, oh, like, where's Hal Steinbrenner? Where's Hal Steinbrenner? Hal Steinbrenner is down in Tampa managing the Steinbrenner horses and hotels because he, guess what, trusts Brian Cashman that much. Do you know how many owners would kill to be in that position? Brian Cashman has been the Yankees general manager since 1998. You know how many times he's finished under 500? Zero. Like, we say this on Baseline Baseball.
I hate all that consistency.
Yeah, the Yankees could win the World Series on a Tuesday, and on Wednesday, Sal from Fort Lee will say, Brian Cashman, what have you done for me lately on WFAN?
Facts.
That's like a Dolphin fan, like, you're next, man. You're next, anyways. After the Panthers win a World Series,
you hear it. You hear it down in Philly with Jalen Hurts right now. The guy just won a Super Bowl, and everyone's on his ass.
Didn't want to open up that can of worms.
You can blame
It's
Spike
true.
doing that after the day after the Super Bowl. I have not listened to WIP since then, anyways.
Parade is over. Trophies in the air. What is this guy doing? He can't read shit. I'm like, dude, it's just MVP Super Bowl. Give him a break for 2 minutes.
Calm it down. You have a heart attack over there, Spike. We don't need you to do anything like that. Calm it down. Are we near a lockout, would you say? How close are we? Because
I think it's more.
I don't want it to happen, but I have a feeling it's going to happen. Like, once we hit June and July after like the Stanley Cup and NBA Finals, we're fucked if we don't have baseball.
Okay. Well, first off, we're not going to lose any games next season. The lockout expires after next season.
I know, but after next season, that's what I'm worried about. You know.
Yeah, I am worried because there is a lot of saber rattling going on about a salary cap right now, and I understand like why a very small number of owners here's what everyone needs to understand. The number of owners who actually want a salary cap is very small. I'm talking these are your Bob Nuttings, your Dick Monforts, maybe we'll throw Bruce Sherman in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if you throw Tom Ricketts in there anyways, because he doesn't want to spend money all the time.
Maybe Tom Ricketts too. I mean, like, because Tom Ricketts is also in that weird privileged position where he fully trusts his player development system to the point where he doesn't feel he needs to spend money all that much.
A little too much, anyways. I would like the contract made for Kyle Tucker by now, anyways.
Yes. So this being said, I do think that we are more likely headed to a lockout. But the good news is that unlike the last time we were facing this, the media is starting the battle on the players' behalf right now. Mm-hmm. I can't remember when this was, but sometime this season, Jeff Passan was, I think, on Buster Olney's podcast, and they were talking lockout. And Passan said, Rob Manfred needs to really think with the owners and say, are we really going to keep this great new generation of great baseball players like Fernando Tatis, like Bobby Witt, like like Zach Wheeler from the fans and lose all this revenue just over a salary cap? And so he's already kind of like fighting that battle for the players. And so I think the fact that we're having it now and it's already started and we're fresh out of the All-Star break, and that battle is going to continue into the offseason, at the winter meetings, all throughout next season. I think it's going to get to the point where the owners are going to, per usual, lose the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now with guys like Bob Nutting in Pittsburgh, where their complete strategy or lack thereof has just become more and more blatant.
It's very bleak in Pittsburgh anyways. Only thing they have is Paul Skeens, and that's really it.
Yeah, Paul Skeens in a great stadium.
Yes. And I know people have started talking about, David Sampson's already talking about it, how I think he's for the salary cap. That's how I've kind of read it. I could be completely wrong if he wants to call me out, but I feel like he, as you ran the Marlins and stuff, I think he would want it because it'll be he could do what he wants pretty much.
Well, look, here's if I'm Tony Clark, the head of the MLB Players Association, and they're talking salary cap, I'm saying, you want a salary cap? Great, but that means you also have to install a salary floor.
Oh yeah,
that the salary cap can be whatever, but at a minimum, teams should be spending on payroll, we'll say $125 million.
I say $200 million. I want to see how people go crazy with that, anyways.
We can certainly work up to $200 million, but I think that between 110 and 125 is a good round number to start with, at least if God forbid we are destined to go down that route.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to happen at the end of the day, just because we are at the point where salaries have gone up and up and up. That genie has been let out of the bottle. You can't put it back in.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll see.
I think it's going to be interesting this year, going into winter meetings, and then next year see how much of a battle will be, especially whenever the All-Star game is in Philadelphia between the players and the owners and everybody.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the Speedway Classic unis? Do you like this idea of Braves and Reds in Bristol, Tennessee? I think the hats are awful, by the way. They look like
racing.
You know what? I'm all for. At the end of the day, I'm just going to say I am all for growing the game. I do think that you need to find a way to expand baseball into more cities and to more states. I think Nashville is a great way to do that. And yeah, the jerseys look kind of dumb and something out of a Cars nightmare a la Disney. But again, we're growing the game. That's what we're here to do. We are growing the game.
Definitely, for sure. Who's the next owner to have a Jerry Jones presser, would you say, next for Major League Baseball? That we would just die of laughter, do you think?
I think this is going to be a safe and easy answer, but I really think it's going to be John Fisher, just because the whole athletics in Vegas thing keeps going further and further south.
It is such a train wreck, man. It is such a train wreck.
It's don't get me wrong. I'm not closed off to the idea of having a professional baseball team in Las Vegas. I just don't want it to be the Athletics. I am friends with their PA announcer.
Yeah.
And she is from Oakland. And now granted, she's had a very positive experience in Sacramento. And I'm very happy for her, and for the team as well, because the players are happy too, except for Luis Severino. But at the same time,
trade me.
But at the same time, Trevor, you and I were talking earlier just now about sort of baseball's original 6 franchises, if you will.
Yeah.
And the A's definitely fall under that umbrella, going all the way back to Connie Mack. And if you want to move the team and play them in Sacramento, look, that was probably going to need to happen anyway, depending on the new stadium.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're at a point now where, depending on what happens in Las Vegas, and because we don't even know if they've broken ground on a spot yet.
No, but I saw a shovel in a press conference once, and that's all I've seen so far.
Exactly. So you have to figure at some point we're going to get to whenever it was with the Expos where MLB has to step in.
I'm waiting for that to happen, by the way. I am.
Yeah, it should have happened with the Pirates long ago, but.
Well, there's a few teams. The Pirates should be number 1A, and 1B should be the I still call them the Oakland Athletics anyways, or the Sacramento Athletics to see what happens. So I just think it needs to happen. Plus they have a Las Vegas patch on their jersey and on the outfield wall, so it looks really corny already. So
it's like watching college baseball whenever they're on.
Correct.
Not a bad idea though. Sacramento State, how you doing anyways? So all right, it's the trade deadline is next week. Who'd be the first player to move? Do you think it could be Edward Cabrera or someone else? You think?
Well, the big name on everyone's lips is obviously Gino Suarez, but I think that one name that you can definitely listen out for, especially if they're that serious about selling as everyone says they are. I think you got to look out for someone like Brian Reynolds of the Pirates to also be on the move. I think that
I love Brian Reynolds. I thought before they tried to re-up him a couple of years ago, they should have snatched him away. Then he comes out and says he doesn't want to come to Philly. Dude, I'll put enough money in front of you. You'll come to Philadelphia. Come play. Come play left field for us. Come play right now.
Yeah, I think that
he's my guy.
Yeah, I think that any one of the Pirates except for Paul Skeens, like Mitch Keller, I think for absolutely sure is going to be moved.
Bednar too.
Yeah, and I mean we talked about the Padres. Dylan Cease might get traded. There's but if there's one guy who I think is going to be the first one to move, just because the talks seem to be heating up in terms of teams that are checking in, I think it's going to be Suarez.
Yeah.
Probably within the next 3 to 4 days.
Definitely.
Big splash, big contract. Yeah.
Big splash, big contracts. Gets to go to a contender at least. Will we see the Yankees in the ALCS?
I think so.
Okay. So I will say this: if it's Cubs, Yankees, ALCS, Cubs in the NLCS, and Yankees in the ALCS, would baseball thrive with a Cubs Yankees World Series? Since we did have a 3-game set in July before the All-Star break.
Well, I don't know. I think it depends on who the other teams are, but I do believe that MLB will try to, for lack of a better word, move some mountains, just as they did for Yankees Dodgers last year.
Oh yeah. Like if you have Cubs Dodgers NLCS and Yankees Tigers ALCS, that's a home run. Am I right?
Oh yeah. I mean, just in terms of the matchups alone, because you get to have AJ Hinch face the Dodgers without the Astros cheating this time. He gets to complete his redemption arc.
Yeah. And
the Dodgers, meanwhile, they get to not only repeat as champions, but repeat as champions in a season where their starters can barely complete 5 innings.
Or hold their Tommy, or not have to get Tommy John real soon, anyways.
Yeah. The Dodgers are at the point where Kershaw's like, I could say something, but I don't want to get in trouble, so I'm just going to go.
That's true.
Right. Yeah. It's been a great ride, everybody. Peace.
Right. Speaking of great rides, Josh, we'll have you in. Well, you know what we'll do? We'll have you on for October before the baseball playoffs start. We'll do our predictions. The three of us will do it. We'll probably get Luke Arcani in since he could not answer a message anyways.
Wow. Rude.
I know. I asked him, I was like, hey, let's do are you down for this baseball roundup? I gave was like, yeah, I'm down. No answer. So
how rude.
How rude. So all right, Josh, we appreciate it as always. We'll talk to you when October hits. When October is as what's their favorite guy?
Red October, baby.
Not Red October, but October. Where we get
not just a submarine
commercials. So Josh, we'll see you in October. How about that?
Take care, guys. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Thanks, sir. Bye-bye.